Boston Molasses Disaster. Molasses is a byproduct from the process of transforming cane or beet into sugar. It is an extremely thick and syrup-like substance. On January the 15th of 1919, a cast iron tank was transporting molasses in the industrial north end of Boston, Massachusetts. On board was 2.5 million gallons of crude molasses on its way to a distillery. It was to be fermented into rum. Suddenly, the truck burst, creating a loud rumbling noise, similar to a machine gun fire. A 15-foot tall wall of molasses steamed through the Boston streets, traveling approximately 35 miles per hour. It demolished buildings and buried everything in its path of destruction. Several blocks were flooded. 21 people and several horses were buried and killed by the quicksand-like sweet substance. Over 150 people were injured. The cleanup took weeks and approximately 87,000 man-hours. The cause of the truck accident is not certain, but the vast increase in temperature that day played a huge part. The temperature had risen 39 degrees from the previous day, causing increased pressure in the tank. Even today on a hot summer Boston afternoon, people report the smell of molasses in the air. The Station Nightclub Fire. On February the 20th of 2003, the hard rock band Great White was set to perform at Station Nightclub in West Warwick, Rhode Island. As the band was beginning their set, pyrotechnic sparks were set off for visual effect. Almost instantly, a flash fire began to engulf the stage. Fire alarms were sounded and a crowd of over 400 people all rushed towards the front exit. People were panicking and a crush formed in a small and narrow hallway leading to the exit. This completely blocked the passage. The entire club was engulfed and burned to the ground in 6 minutes. 100 people were killed by the fire, 230 were injured, and only 132 made it out, unharmed. It is considered the fourth deadliest nightclub fire in the United States history. It was a bone-chilling revelation as new cameras filmed the parking lot, which was completely filled with victims' cars. The silence of the burnt-down complex was deafening. This tragedy has greatly influenced national model building and fire safety codes. It also led to the Statue of Liberty being shut down to all visitors due to subpar evacuation routes. New London School Explosion. In the middle of the 1930s, the Great Depression was hitting America very hard. In 1930, oil was discovered in Rusk County, Texas, making this area of the United States the richest in the country. An enormous school was built in New London. The structure had 72 natural gas heaters installed. In 1937, the school district cancelled their natural gas contract and had a residue gas line installed to save money. This new raw gas line varied in the quantity of gas delivered to the building. In its natural state, gas is both odorless, colorless, and leaks are undetectable. Nobody realized that gas had begun to escape and build in an enormous crawl space underneath the structure. On March the 18th of 1937, an instructor at the school turned on an electric sander to do some work in the basement. Almost instantly, a small spark caused the entire New London school to explode. It was completely demolished and approximately 300 to 500 students and teachers lost their lives immediately. It remains one of the worst catastrophes to occur in a US school building. This tragedy directly led to the law that tiles be added to natural gas. This way, the strong odor of tiles can quickly help detect natural gas leaks. Mount Palais. The events surrounding the worst volcanic eruption of the 20th century are truly unique. Mount Palais towers over the city of Saint-Pierre, Martinique, an island in the eastern Caribbean Sea. In 1902, local residents began to notice unusual volcanic vent holes, earth tremors, an undeniable smell of sulfur, and the constant raining of ash on the city. This made the land surrounding the volcano inhabitable, and hundreds of native snakes invaded Saint-Pierre. A scene straight out of the Old Testament, enormous 6-feet-long serpents terrorized residents, killing over 50 people and hundreds of livestock. The snakes' only escape from the volcano was a path directly through the city. Nothing like this had ever been seen or recorded in recent history. Unfortunately, the terror was only beginning for the island's residents, as a few months later Mount Palais experienced an enormous eruption, annihilating everything. Over 30,000 people were instantly killed by the disaster. There are reports of only 2 survivors. One was in a poorly ventilated dungeon-like jail cell, and the other was living on the extreme edge of the island. Both men experienced horrible burns. It remains the worst natural disaster in French history. So that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Until the next video, goodbye.